things. You can look at these plants, so micro detail, macro detail. You can walk to the top of that mountain. If you've played our stuff, you know these are huge games that are wide open for you to explore and do what you want. We have a new animation system, so you can play in third person. So some nice blending on the character.
That is Dragonborn.
That is, you can be whoever you want, male or female. This is the character we're showing. So a lot of people like to play in third person, so it's a real viable option this go around.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got wildlife. You've got, I mean, the world is really alive.
Really, really alive. That's what we push for. And it's you are who you play. The right trigger does your right hand. The left trigger does your left hand. And so, as opposed to picking a character, you just be who you want, do what you want. So now I'm kind of being a battle mage, where the left trigger is casting this healing spell, and I can put that in any hand if I want. So right trigger, and then left trigger.
Dual wield spells, and you power up.
What's cool is if you pull both triggers at the same time, you get a more powerful version of that spell. Now we're headed up high up into the mountains where it gets snowy to this Nordic ruin. This is one of our over 150 dungeons that we have in the game, and the ancient Nords used to worship dragons. So here we are inside the dungeon with our bow. We do have a lot of cool stealth gameplay as well. So we really want to pay off on all of those different styles of gameplay, whether it's stealth, melee, magic.
As this person is switching between or in this playthrough first and third, do you think a lot of people are going to play it that way, or?
You know, I prefer first person myself, but I notice a lot of people just like to run around in third person. You can also dual wield swords.
Okay, wow.
Actually, dual wield any one-handed weapons. And you'll see me use a shout here. It's one of our magic powers you can do.
There are a lot of shouts throughout the game, right? These dragon shouts?
Yep. And up here we're seeing the undead, the Draugr, who live in this Nordic ruin. Using a flame spell in my left hand, sword in my right. And then another shout power.
And how do you gain these shout powers throughout the game?
You'll see some of that coming up, actually, but you learn the words, and then you have to unlock the ability to use them. So you learn these words of power in the dragon language, and the dragons in the game are a big feature, and when they're doing things, they're using the words as well. There are staves you can use to light areas of dungeons on our way out of this dungeon.
Wow.
We use water as a nice feature to guide you out sometimes as well.
Now you have a new sort of story system in this too, right? A Radiant story system?
Radiant story that guides all of our quests to make it, since it is a big open game, to give us some more control over the experience you're going to have and make it more dynamic.
Wow.
Here we're out in the tundra, which is this wide open grasslands in the middle of Skyrim.
Oh God, I mean, it's a brand new engine, right?
Yep, the creation engine that we built just for this game. So the mammoths, a lot of these creatures are peaceful unless you mess with them.
Uh-oh, not a good idea.
And you can also breathe fire like the dragons. That's one of the shouts.
Okay.
I'm going to use coming up here.
Dragon breath. Aha.
And dragons can attack anything. They're dynamic creatures. We don't script them. So when we're playing the game, we don't know what they're going to do often. They are these big boss fights that are dynamic and interesting in ways that we've never experienced in a game before.
Now, I read a rumor online that the game is over 300 hours, or you can spend at least 300 hours in the game.
There is at least 300 hours in it. We kind of have stopped counting. There's so much stuff in this game.
Oh, and here's a battle with the non-friendly dragon.
Kind of getting some help from the guards of this tower here. And then when they die, you absorb their souls, and this allows you to unlock words of power, shouts that you've learned, and power them up. And then we also have fights in the game in times where there are multiple dragons. So here comes another one up there, a frost dragon. They're even more powerful than the dragon that I just defeated with the help of the guards.
And what's cool about this game is, dragons are not just going to come into the, the final 10% of the game. I mean, you're going to see them throughout the game, right?
They are creatures like any other, and you see them not from the initial get-go, but you see them throughout the game, yes.
I was reading your character sort of starts this game. You're on your way to your execution. Is that true?
You are being led to your execution. This is another shout there, Storm Call. So this calls a storm that brings lightning down to defeat your enemies. One of the more powerful shouts. And then once the dragons get hurt enough, they can't fly, and they'll either land or they'll crash.
And how will your relationship with these dragons change throughout the game? I mean, obviously, there's some that will be friendly to you.
I don't want to quite spoil it yet, but they all aren't out to destroy the world, and why they're back and what they want is part of the mystery of the main quest in the game that you're going to uncover.
Wow, very cool. Justine, are there any questions from fans for Todd?
I have a question here from Jerry V on Facebook. Says, love the guilds in Oblivion. I wonder if the factions are going to return. Do you think it'll happen?
We do have factions returning. Our 3 main factions are the College of Winterhold, which is like for the mages, the Companions, which is our warrior guild, and then the Thieves Guild, of course.
Right. Very cool. And